Winter Field Day time next on Live Free and Ham. Hello and welcome to another Live Free and Ham podcast. This is your weekly show where we discuss ham radio topics in New Hampshire, New England, Florida, and beyond. So we're thrilled to have you here, whether you're a regular listener or maybe tuning in for the first time. And we, as always, like to say thanks again for joining us in this episode. So let's get into that show as usual. I'm your host, Eric, call sign N1JUR, and I'm with my hosts,
Paul, N1OG,
and Todd, W1SDJ.
And we have two special guests on tonight. Go ahead and introduce yourself.
Marvin W0 McKee, the president of Winter Field Day.
Mike, KY4LV, from the Winter Field Day Association board members.
Very cool. All right. Well, we will get into more Winter Field Day festivities, which I'm sure you guys are all looking for.
I got to do a little better. He's the manager of social media. So,
well, there you go.
I'm a board member.
We're limited to number of character spaces under your, title bar. So you have to, be selective in those choices. So, all right. Well, there you go. We're going to get into some really cool stuff today. So I'm looking forward to, especially around Winter Field Day. But like we do as every episode, we're going to dive into a couple of things to let you know how you can be part of the Live Free and Ham community here. Obviously, Discord is the way you can head over and visit us. You can use the link in our show notes. It's always up on our website and available. And come join in on a party. It's great. We love it. We've been seeing a lot of awesome, cool new faces and awesome topics. So Discord's the place to be able to connect with more of Live Free and Ham. You can also leave us a voicemail. We've been getting a few voicemails here. We've been pretty excited to have them. But maybe you got a question or you've been racking your brain and you need some help, or you want to cheer Todd on and continue to, have him continue his journey in, being an extra so you too can receive your extra, then, you dial the number and let us know. The number is 978-233-1142. And as Paul always says, you can call us for a great time. So we also got an all-star node. You can check us out there. That is the Live Free and Ham All-Star Hub. That number is 580-871. So feel free to drop on. Grouch, myself, Todd, all of us are up there. Always willing to say hello, and don't be shy and drop us, a quick CQ if you want, and we will allow it. This is a repeater that allows the CQ. All right, and as always, every month we usually try to do a live stream. Don't miss out. Make sure you subscribe to the channel for all of the action, and make sure you ring that notification bell when we go live, because this month is the month of December. And when this episode airs, I think, we're still within the window. The 20th is coming up. And so what is that, Mr. Grouch?
Oh, that is the Shack Roast.
Yes. So we've been working diligently on coming up with an algorithm to, our scoring system and points awards for all of those folks that people are voting on in the Patreon and our Patreon group of all those submissions we already had. So we're looking forward to seeing what bubbles up to the top, and then those folks will go head to head for the Shack Roast 2025 title. So looking forward to that event on the 20th. So keep an eye on the channel and here on Live Free and Ham for all of the details. And as always, if you want to help support our show financially, and we thank you all of those that do support us today, you can always head up to our storefront at livefreeandham.com/shop, or you can become a Patreon member. All of the Patreon members get discounts to free merch and sticker packs. They get access to our private live stream here that we record every week, as well as a bunch of other great things and perks. So head on over there, check that out, and let us know. And as our lovely Bob always says,
you can join for as little as $3 a month. It's not a big expense.
Nope, it is not. And Bob, we thank you again because you are our number one fan. So with that, all right, well, we're going to roll into our usual stuff. So we've got nothing. Well, actually, no, we got, we'll throw it in the mailbag anyway. So here we go.
Ladies and gentlemen, can I please have your attention? I've just been handed an urgent and horrifying news story.
Hello, everybody. We got some news.
Slow down, Boog. Let me handle this. We've got some news. I've got bad news and bad news.
I have reviewed ship's personnel, Captain.
Congratulations.
All right. Well, we've got mail. We have WinLink mail. So over to you, Mr. WinLink manager, Paul N1OG, on the side profile looking so astute there. Fire away.
All right. Well, today's WinLink comes from KD9YSW, and he sent it to myself, N2MAK, and Kilo 5 Victor Oscar Papa. Subject line reads, "Hello from the frozen tundra." And so he continues and writes, "Hello all. I just activated US 4329 on 10 meters.
Ooh.
I will post my map from that activation on Discord. Life has been rough. I need to get more radio time. N1OG, thank you for the TriMag mount. Ham sticks are great on there. Have a great holiday, everyone. 73 KD9 YSW, Chris."
Cool. All right. Well, Chris, we thank you for your WinLink message there as always. I know there's been a couple of weeks you've been a little bit tied up and I'm not be able to get those up, but we appreciate them when you do. And so thank you again for filling joyous messages in our mailbox, or at least N1OG's mailbox.
Dude, I very much enjoy when I check my WinLink and there's an email there.
I refreshed mine and I have the sad face because I've got none. Not that I'm saying Chris send them to me, but hey, show some brother of love. All right. Well, with that, we thank you guys. And you too can send us a WinLink anytime. Send it to N1OG at winlink.net, I think it is. Yeah, it's .net. And if you so feel inclined and you remember my call sign, you can do it to N1JUR too as well. But don't always guarantee that I'll go back in there and read it because I'm pretty bad with email messages in general. So, all right. With that, we are through most of our mailbag there. But as we always do, we're just going to skip over do good here because there's nothing in the do good. So, but maybe you got to do good and something's coming in the future. Send it our way. We want to definitely hear what's going on. I know some great stuff's coming up soon, at least for our club. So we'll probably be sharing some of that soon in the future. But, hey, 'tis the season for giving. This is a good way in the season, to kind of share some of your do good stuff there. But with that, let's just go right to our lovely something.
It's everyone's favorite segment.
And now, a little something extra with Todd. W1STJ.
Still a general.
All right. Well, this is our usual episode where Todd helps you get your extra, is basically what we're going to title it now from going forward. But, this is where Todd tries to study for his extra class every week, answering 3 questions from that lovely extra class question pool, testing his knowledge, hoping he gets that upgrade. Well, if you want to follow along, you can always visit it at hamstudy.org. It's an awesome resource, helps everybody prepare for the test. And I know everybody who's used it has been super successful with it. So it is one of the things that we are very much recommending. And it's, always approved by the volunteer examiner force there. So without any further delay, I take it over to the VE Quizmaster. Paul, take it away.
All right, Todd, tonight's first question comes from sub-element number 8. And the question is, what is the approximate bandwidth of a 13 word per minute international Morse code transmission? Is it A, 13 hertz, B, 52 hertz, C, 104 hertz, or D, 26 hertz?
Thanks for the pressure.
As Mike says, parlay is looking good. 1 WinLink, 0 voicemails. Just need Todd to crush it now. Come on, Mike.
I'm going to go
get a lottery ticket.
I'm going to go with B, 52 hertz.
Oof. Any of you guys, Mike or Marvin, you want to jump in there? See your extra knowledge holds water?
I was actually going to guess 52 as well.
Thanks.
Wow. I'm going to go with I don't know, but Marvin, do you have a pick there?
I was going to go with D, 26, but I don't remember myself. It's been so long since I've seen that question. Not being a Morse code guy, I really don't know.
See, Mike is with Mike and Todd there. So Paul, tell us the truth.
All right. Well, Todd said B, 52, and
Whoa!
That is the correct answer.
Wow. Nice job, my friend. Nice job.
So, for a little context, CW words per minute equals 13. What is the necessary bandwidth for this transmission? So for a CW transmission, bandwidth is 4 hertz word per minute, sub CW. So in this case, bandwidth sub CW equals 4 hertz times 13 words per minute, which is 52 hertz. And your test tip, to remind yourself, you must multiply by 4 to calculate bandwidth in hertz from words per minute of CW. So think 4-letter words hertz.
My brain hurts, period.
Well, fuck you. And hopefully that hurts.
Yes, you heard it here. All right. Well, Todd, not bad. You're, batting 1,000 right now. So good.
All right. Here we go. Question number 2 comes from sub-element number 2. The question is, which of the following is characteristic of the FST4 mode? Is it A, 4-tone Gaussian frequency shift keying, B, 7 different tone spacings, C, all of these choices are correct, or is it D, variable transmit receive periods?
We'll insert a pause here so Marvin and Mike can Google.
Yeah, I wasn't thinking about that. That was.
Can I Google?
No.
No, Todd.
You've been blocked.
You can't phone a friend either.
Yeah. I should be part of the testing. Phone a friend.
Yeah.
All right.
You'd be abusing that.
So I remember this one is, God, I haven't seen these in a while. They're not even coming up on my, lately the last 2 times they haven't been coming up on my app either. All right. I think, your first thing is 4-tone Gaussian frequency shift keying, which, because it says 4 FST4, but I really think it might be D.
I'm a big fan of all of the C's because, why not? But Mike, Marvin?
I was kind of thinking about D myself, but...
Okay.
I go back to, Paul knows this, I go back to every test in the Army. If there is an all of the above, that's the right answer.
It's not true, though, on this test. Trust me.
This isn't the military. You guys know that? Thank God we'd all die.
Probably at least 85% of the time, if you've got an all choices are correct, it's the right one.
It is the right one.
I'm not saying that it is in this scenario. Just saying, statistically speaking.
They could put a detractor.
But all right. So Todd said D. And D is incorrect.
It would be the C.
Well,
the correct answer is indeed C.
It is variable transmit. It is correct. It's just
it just wasn't all of the other options.
Yes. So there you go.
Right.
Keep that in your brain bank.
Pick up all the channels, does it?
All right.
Yeah, your cornbread's not quite done in the middle. All right, Todd. The third and final question of the evening comes from sub-element number 2. The question is, why should effective radiated power be limited to a satellite that uses a linear transponder? Is it A, to prevent the satellite from emitting out-of-band signals? B, to prevent the satellite to prevent creating errors in the satellite telemetry? C, to avoid reducing the downlink power to other users? Or D, to avoid interfering with terrestrial QSOs?
And we know that Ziggy got this, and he got it wrong too. But he loves satellites.
But we did discuss the correct answer, the correct answer is on the screen.
Yeah, thank God.
I don't remember. Ziggy got this wrong?
Yeah, he did. I got it right, though. Mike just says ugh.
I'm going to say C.
You could be right, Marvin.
Pretty weak on
Mike.
satellites. I'm not gonna even guess on this one.
Yeah,
Well, that's actually a very good answer.
Go with C.
That's what I was thinking, but I was like, I don't know.
No, you are correct, my friends. I can confirm that 1,000,000%. Hit the button.
Well, yes, Eric, 100%. Because we've had this before, the correct answer is C.
So what did
and it is
Ziggy say?
avoid reducing the downlink power.
I think it was to avoid the terrestrial. Yeah, was it?
Yeah, I think he said D. Yeah.
Yeah, I like Mike's choice of words there, using the word weak there in a roundabout way. Weak power.
So, for those that don't remember or perhaps weren't around for the last explanation of this question, satellite transponders are power sharing. And so if one signal received at the satellite is stronger than the others, then all other retransmitted signals will get a smaller portion of the available power. When a satellite receives a very strong signal, its automatic gain control sets the received threshold to the level of the signal, and consequently, the other weaker signals do not get heard. So associate linear with downlink and limited with reducing, and maybe that'll help you.
There you go. And so, what does that put us, Paul? Yes, it does. We know.
I let Mike down. I'm sorry, buddy. Close though. He was close.
Yeah, I know he was 2 for 3, Mike. That's not too bad, man. You know, it's almost a good gambling situation there. So, all right. Well, maybe you're on this journey for studying your technician general X class. In that case, as we say, hamstudy.org is a great resource for getting your ticket. We also like to say, heck, if you've received your license, maybe you upgraded recently, then we want to know, because we want to recognize you on the next episode for all that hard work and effort. And you can always email us or hit us on the Discord. And our email is livefreeandham@gmail.com. And we'll mention you on next show. But Paul, do we have anybody that that's recently tested or gotten an upgrade? That's where he stepped away.
Sorry, hold on. Sorry, we did have one. Hold on.
Okay, good. We're pausing.
So from the VE session that we had in October, right, and then we had the government shutdown.
Yep.
We've got a brand new technician who got his call sign, Kilo Charlie 1 Yankee Papa Hotel.
Oh, yes.
Donovan, who's only 13 years old.
Wow.
So
nice.
Congrats to you, man. It was great to be there at your test session, and glad you finally got your call. So yeah,
Very
congrats, man.
Nice. Hey, Mike, when did they start allowing cats in space?
They made a special dispensation just for me.
Excellent. It's lonely up there. Need a companion. Excellent. For those that are on the podcast only, you need to head over to watch the Live Free and Ham episode itself, because Mike's background is him being in a deep outer space. We're just waiting for Hal to be in the background. I'm sorry, Mike. I'm afraid I can't do that. All right. Well, good on that one. And Donovan, yes, it's good to see you. I know you're pretty active on our club Discord. Oh, we're joining him in space too as well there, Mr. N1OG. I should switch my background then somewhere. So, yeah, with that, we are going to roll into our usual Ham Radio Week catch-up. And as always, we just like to defer to our guests first. So we'll go with you, Marvin, first. How's been your Ham Radio Week?
Good. I really tried to figure out how to integrate the World Radio League with the Flex Radio and WSJTX. I got that up and running. Started making a lot of contacts on Thursday with it, and I will plan on taking over the Wisconsin leaderboard, I think, at some point here. So I'll take over the number one spot, hopefully in Wisconsin, because that's where all my contacts are at with my remote station, and it's been working really, really well. It's been really good. And I just got an amplifier as well, so I'm good up to 1,500 watts now, which will be cool. So I got a really good deal. I'm telling you, if you guys don't get the main trading company email on a weekly basis and look for some of their deals that they have there, you should go out and subscribe to their email newsletter list that they put out, because they, I mean, literally have some awesome steals on there once in a while and have some of the best prices in the country. And I have no affiliation with them whatsoever, but it's impressive the number of deals, because he will trade for anything other than something that eats like a horse. But I mean, you can take whatever equipment and trade it into him and get something different if you want. And I mean, I didn't have to trade anything in. He just had a good price on it, but it was basically a brand new PGXL from Flex for like $4,000.
Wow.
And those things are $5,900. So it's almost a $2,000 savings. It was huge.
Dude, that's impressive.
That's impressive.
So, and you mean he'll trade anything non-ham radio too?
Potentially, yes. He's traded for things in the past, yes.
Wow. Interesting. I didn't know he'd do that. That's
pretty
cool.
Stuff on his site. I haven't really seen anything non-ham radio recently on there. But I mean, if you have an old, I don't know, Yaesu or ICOM HF radio or something, is like, I'm an old Collins or something. You want to trade in, he'll give you a fair trade for it, and he will, you can take that price off the price of whatever you want to buy. So he does a pretty good job. So yeah, he set a record. He set a record year this year, and it's been, like I said, I found that deal on there. Like, holy crap, who's giving this thing away? And like, that's crazy. So
that's impressive, man. So PGXL, man. Well, you had it when you were working for Flex, right? They gave you one, and then they make you. Yeah, they took it back. They couldn't give you a parting gift.
Right, exactly. So I was like, I'm going to end up finding my own somewhere, and it's like I happened to come across that one just one day out of the chance. He only had one, and it was like, I'm all over that. I was like, I'm getting it. Like, all right, it's got to go to the card, but I don't care right now. So it's like I will never find for that type of price again.
Oh no, yeah, definitely. I mean, just alone. I mean, even some of the 6600s are still pretty good steel, that I saw recently. But you can't touch any.
So
the although I'm sure everybody's probably trading in their 66s and 6700s for Auroras anyway, so they're trying to get them sold fast. So yeah, nice PGXL. I would love to have an amplifier.
Yeah. Well, if nothing else, I can always have you guys get that set up. But I'm doing really good. I've got two antennas. One of them has a rotor on it, which is the hex beam, and the tower at 65 feet doesn't have a rotor yet. But as soon as I can, get a job and get some money again, I'll get a rotor for that tower too, and you can rotate both towers then. And I mean, it's phenomenal. So I'm making some awesome contacts. Even just the one pointing towards right now, it's about 30 degree. It's heading about 30 degrees on the tower for the 65-foot tower, and it's headed towards Europe. So. I mean, hopefully it's going to continue to do well. So we'll see. So
awesome. Yeah. Dude, yeah. I might, I've been trying to beat Tortoise in FT8 Battle Royale. So I might actually ping you offline, because I need some better antennas to be able to get those few steals so I can knock him down a few notches. He's getting a little cocky.
I was running 100 watts just the other day because I don't have the amplifier actually hooked up yet. What I end up mounting my rack 19 inches away from the wall, and that PGXL is 22 inches deep. So I got a whole rack, move it out 3 inches. So that means I have to drill new anchors in the concrete to mount that thing to again. It's like, are you kidding me? I never thought about it at the time, and I didn't realize I was only 19 inches deep. And I was like, so anyway, I got to move that rack first, but it means I have to decommission everything, take it offline, move the rack, because it's like, I'm not going to just try and move it with everything on there. It's going to just be a disaster. So, yeah.
Yeah, I would say that's a pain in the ass. You're going to have to decommission everything out of that rack and then re-drill it and then put it all back in.
Yeah.
Cabling and everything.
Yep.
So cool. All right, man. Well, it sounds like you get your hands full there, but yeah, good on bringing the new child into the family there. Hopefully, he serves you well, as they say. So absolutely. Good on that one. So, Mike, how has your ham radio week been, sir? And welcome.
Thanks. So, my week itself, the main thing I did was I'm currently taking a course to become an Army instructor. Again, apparently, if you don't take it long enough, you lose it, and you have to go through the whole thing again. But so I snuck in some radio there. We had to do a 10-minute, basically practical presentation, and so I taught a small group of people how to program a Baofeng type radio to listen to the NOAA weather radio channel. Which luckily we've got where I live, we've got a transmitter that's very loud. Even within a building, so that worked out for us. You. And then going back to the previous weekend, I drove home for Thanksgiving and finally got to activate Arkansas. Did Mammoth Spring State Park there. Parked and fired up the 857. Did some CW and went on my way. And so Arkansas has been eluding me for a while, and I got another state in the books for activations.
Dude, that's awesome. Yeah, I'm applauding you, man. You normally a CW guy and a voice guy, or both?
Yeah, so typically it's either CW or digital. Voice is kind of my least favorite.
Okay. I have to say, how fast is your fist there? Not that in comparison to mine, it's probably like night and day. But
for POTA, I'll do 18 typically. If I'm going to have a rag shoe, that decreases significantly.
Mm-hmm. Okay. It wouldn't matter. I would take your word for it because I can barely bang out 2 characters if I'm lucky, even at like any reasonable 5 words per minute, I think. But so awesome. Cool. Well, thank you guys for coming on tonight, and we're looking forward to getting more Winter Field Day. But with that, Grouch, how is your ham radio week doing, sir?
I mean, not terrible. I mean, I didn't really do a ton of ham radio per se. I did go out a couple times this week, and while I was out, I've got a local repeater that I know I can hit. So I threw my call out into the repeater a whole bunch of times. Threw my call out on 5.2 a bunch of times. Just trying to drum up something. I did, however, notice there was 2 Meshtastic nodes. So somebody came to the drop zone or nearby the drop zone, close enough that my T-Beam Supreme was able to pick up 2 new nodes. So keep your Meshtastic up and running because you never know, right?
Carry it all the time. And actually, sidebar, I just updated because I know a few people asked us to turn on MQTT for the Live Free and Ham channel. So go back up to the Meshtastic channel on our Discord and pick up the new, QR code there or link so you can get added. So now MQTT messages will reach your doorstep from all the way up here north for those that are outside our, kind of general area too.
Yeah, I'll pass, but thanks.
You are a purist. Hey, just try to extend the reach. I get it. you and K Booty, man.
I played with MQTT for the 2 months that I was home this fall because there was 0 Meshtastic activity in my little valley at home. But it got ridiculous. It got to the point where it was like too many stations all sending messages, and I didn't really care about stations in New York and New Jersey. I'm sorry, I don't care.
Well, let me add the caveat: we don't have MQTT on for long fast. I refuse to do that. That's other Meshtastic suicide, in of the nth level. So it's only on the Live Free and Ham channel. So ultimately, anything Live Free and Ham will go out. So you'll just get our little conversation. So that may push you over the edge. I don't know. We'll see how it goes. You let me know.
All right. In that case, I'll give it the old college try.
Yep. Okay. Well, I appreciate it. I'm curious. We're glad to see you on the Live Free and Ham node. I mean, for a little while you were down for a bit, but it's good to see you back up there. And once Todd finally gets his node back up, he'll be reconnected, and it'll all be good. So cool. All right.
Oh yeah, I had no idea that I was no longer connected. I thought because I made it a permanent connection that it was just auto reconnecting, and I was like, man, my radio has been really quiet. And so I pulled up the Almon. I was like, oh shit, I'm not connected.
Yeah,
so now I'm reconnected, so we're good. Yeah,
good deal. Just I know he was having some computer problems. I also knew he had some power issues, but I didn't think it affected his All-Star that much. But I figured you'd come around.
Yeah, good. No, I got it back up.
Good deal. Sweet. All right. Well, with that, over to Todd. How was your Ham Radio week, my friend?
Well, pretty uneventful. I have been talking on the repeaters, and good news is a lot of people are out doing POTA. There were some people today listening on the radio on the repeaters that they were out driving the POTAs. Silver Lake was one of them, and of course Keith, the Pota King. He was he was out already on his second Pota.
Or second, was it second? Okay, of the day, right?
Of the day.
Yeah, he's usually a four park guy a day.
Yeah. So, but yeah, so nothing really much with that. But, Paul, talking about 5.2, I didn't mention this earlier back around Thanksgiving, but I always call out 5.2 at least, once a day, see if anyone's there. And watching my kid play flag football on a Thanksgiving flag football day, I called out 5.2, and this guy came back to me like right away. He goes, "Holy cow!" He goes, "Someone's there." He was in Nashua, and I was in Nashua, so I was like, "Hey, man, what's going on?"
Nice.
So got to keep that band. I got to keep that frequency going, But yeah,
well, and especially you got to keep it going because you never know what the tropo's doing. Like Ziggy sent me a message the other day. He had a tropo 5.2 contact from his place in Florida to somebody in like southern North Carolina. Like, I mean, it was well over 100 miles, close to 200. Yeah.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, really good tropos. You never know.
WRA had a 6 meter contact, was it sideband to Europe on when Tropo hit, and that was like phenomenal. I was like, holy crap! And that was like when we had that X2 flare scenario like a week ago, or whatever it was. So yeah, it's out there.
Yeah, well, that beat my my 850 mile contact on 5 watts.
Still, man, dude, that was on the HT by any stretch of imagination. He's running a 9700 with a log periodic and stuff like that. So
I was on an HT with a mag mount on my old metal roof, and I thought the guys were messing with me, thinking I was in Boston, and nope, they were in where were they? Not Nova Scotia.
What'd you say, New Brunswick, right?
New Brunswick,
yeah. Like yep.
And I didn't believe him until a few weeks later, and I got the QSL car. I was like, sweet, look at that. And then the other thing, I went snowboarding today with my son. And legs are freaking killing me, I'll tell you that. And I didn't even go for a full day. We went from like 12 to 3, like 3, maybe 3.5 hours. But I brought my Mesh-tastic, and there's definitely guys up there. Like I did. I had mine in my jacket and wasn't really messing around with my phone. But when I came back, I got a bunch of messages from a bunch of new nodes coming from there. And
did you get any of mine? I've texted you a few, but
no.
Okay.
Yeah,
well,
there's something wrong with it. I've only gotten my own. And the one time I messaged you at the club meeting, I mean, it says I'm 3 hops away, and then it says I don't get in. So I don't know what the hell's wrong with it.
When the club meeting rolls around, we'll. I
probably have a setting wrong that says don't receive any messages or something. I'm trying to make it work. It just Yep.
You flip everything on.
Yeah. But anyway, so that was my ham radio week. I had a busy work. This time of year for me for work should be quiet, and for some reason it's just been chaotic. It's normally like between Thanksgiving and Christmas, like nothing goes on, and not this year. So
yeah. I'm with you, man.
It's gonna be cold. It's gonna be cold tomorrow too. It's only gonna be like 20. I was like, oh, that's a little.
Yeah, just stop smiling over there, Grouch. I don't want to hear it.
It was a high of 10 here today, so
Oh, Marvin, you went out.
Oh man,
10.
10.
Damn.
You know what's going to happen, Grouch, is you're going to come back up here when it's like 7 or 8, and you'll be like, dude, it's freezing. I can't understand why. I'm like, because you have no,
your blood got thinned. I'll tell you though.
I think it's going to be 80 tomorrow.
It was only like I don't know. It was about high of 32. It was probably like 28 at the mountain, and man, I was sweating so much just from snowboarding. Like I took my helmet off and my head was steaming.
Steaming.
Like, this is embarrassing.
You got through perimenopause or something?
Zach's like, holy cow, Dad. But no, it was good. The conditions were pretty decent. They got more snow at this little mountain that I go to than I expected. And they're blowing. They've got like one of the best snowmaking systems in New England or something. So, I mean, they're blowing snow all day, and it was, I got my new board, my new clip-on boots, which are huge. So I don't have to bend over and buckle up every time, which is a big bonus for me. But the only problem is I can't unhook them because the lever is so freaking strong that I can't reach it because it's way down and then yank it up without falling over. So my little buddy there, my son is my helper, and when I get down to the end of the thing, he unbuckles me so I can lift out of him.
Don't screw that bridge, man. You're permanently.
I'm honestly like I'm sitting on the chairlift and I'm thinking, I'm like, well, maybe if I could get like one of those telescoping poles and I could hook a loop around it, I could like actually grab the lever and then yank it up. So I don't have to.
You're like the 70-year-old folks that have the claw, that little clip thing that they pick up.
That's what I was, because I can reach it, but as soon as you got to really yank the thing. I mean, it must be like a safety thing because you're just clipped in, like you're kind of like a binder. But those clip-ons, man, are awesome. Like I could literally do it while I get off the chairlift and just snap right into them. Yep. So yeah, it was pretty good. But I'll tell you right now, I can't stand little punk teenagers flying by me. Because I go at a good speed, but these kids backwards, sideways, no poles, flying out of the woods. I'm like, Jesus Christ.
Pisses you off, doesn't it?
What? Oh, yeah. And there's not a lot of trails, so it's like you don't have a lot of, it's not you can spread out. It's like everyone's on like 3 trails. So, yeah.
Remember 30 years ago when you used to do dumb shit like that?
Oh, yeah. I was telling Zach about the Chinese downhill. He goes, what's that? I said, "Oh, we have to go watch Hot Dog." You remember that? You guys remember that movie, like back in the '80s? And it was kind of like a spoof on skiing, and they're having this argument with this other guy, this other country. They're like a ski team, and they're talking. He goes, "We'll solve this for all." He goes, "We're going to do a Chinese downhill," and then the Chinese guy goes up to his buddy. He whispers, and he goes, "What the fuck, a Chinese downhill?" Well, you got to watch that movie. He's only 12, so I can't let him watch it now because if I remember, it's probably some of it's not appropriate. But
please see what's up.
He goes, you guys did that? He goes, yeah, because he had brought it up. He said, hey, he goes, imagine like you were playing football on snowboards or skis. I said, well, we used to play Chinese downhill. That's what he told me. He goes, what was that? Like I used to launch my friends into trees. He goes, you did? I'm like, yeah, don't ever do that. It's a really bad idea.
Yeah, it's deadly.
Yeah. So that was my, and I don't know, this week is going to be, hopefully I really want to get out and do another park soon because I haven't done one in a while. And I went out to the seacoast and was going to do one. And again, had a problem back at the office. So I had to come back and just
deal with the mess.
Hey, quick question, Eric. Is there they were talking this morning, Wallace, is it Wallace Park? Is that a new park on the seacoast? Because they said there was like only 15 activations there. And then
Wallace Sands?
Yeah, I think that's what they said, Wallace. I'm assuming it was Wallace Sands, but I think we did that one.
Wallace Sands. That's not new.
That is a good question. I don't know. I have to do a little map search.
I haven't had a chance to look it up, though. But yeah, that's what they were talking about this morning. I think that's where the Poda King was this morning. They're like, oh, he's at Wallace on the seacoast. I was like, he's everywhere.
I literally watch him on Ham Alert, and then when he's not on Ham Alert, I literally wait like 24 hours, and I'm expecting another email from Keith going, here, I also did Live Free and Ham's logs here for you, too, as well. And they're like 350 contacts, 400, 600. I mean, I'm like, Keith, did you do these without the app? What are you talking about? Of course.
Yeah. Yeah, I thought he'd be good for like, he was going out. I was like, hey, man. I go, how the band's like? He goes, they're awesome. 10 meters is booming. I get out there, my 100 watts. 10 meters was like, nothing. I'm like, what do you mean? Yep. Oh, I was using 600 watts. I'm like, yeah, of course it was booming for 600.
Yeah, no problem there.
He's got that good antenna too, so that thing's pretty sweet.
Antenna's good, but dude, when you throw that much power behind it, like you could have a wet noodle and still make as many contacts as Keith does.
Yeah, but I'll tell you, when we went to Eagle Island, it was a blast having all that equipment out there and having that work.
Mm-hmm. Oh, I know. I got to get a chance to go out with him on that.
I asked him. I said, "Hey, I know we're like, kind of close to the ocean. I go, is the river ever freeze there? Like, you think we could like try?" He goes, "Nah, it's not that close."
Yeah, probably not. So cool. All right.
What about you, Eric? How was your ham radio week?
Sorry.
No, dude, no problems. Again, I'm in the same boat you guys. I really didn't do a lot of real ham radio, I guess is the way to say it. I've been, fooling around with some other things, around that. But I did have a couple of QSOs on the repeater. Here's the one that just really blew me away. I was on the way home from a friend's party Tuesday, I think it was. Yeah, Tuesday, his 50th party. On the way back, it was about 10 o'clock on our club repeater. And Kip, KI1P, we know Kip, the Mr. TV van Kip. You guys know what I'm talking about, right? KI1P? Yeah, yep. Chris. Yeah, Chris. So Chris was using a repeater from his home up in Vermont that was sitting about 4,000 or 4,500 ASL, and he was basically just controlling the radio from that repeater and remoting in, or basically just readjusting the frequencies and calling into repeaters to see how far he could get from the mountaintop. He's just like, so he hit our repeater, and I mean, it was literally like you and I talking that clear. He was like, wow. KI1P listening, anybody around? I'm like, Chris, like, what are you doing? And of course, Bill WRA answered, didn't know who it was, and I was just like, no, dude, where are you right now? I'm like, you around? He's like, no, I'm at home remoting into a repeater that's sitting up on, I can't remember what mountain it was. I'm like, how high is that thing? He's like, it's about 4,500 ASL. And I'm like, holy crap. He's like, yeah, I hit a couple of repeaters in Rhode Island, Connecticut, Western New York. He's like, I'm like, are you just testing this? He's like, yeah, we just put up a new antenna for this repeater. I'm like, dude, that's insane. I mean, like, I can imagine
was it the Bedford repeater?
He remoted it. He basically called into our input on the Bedford repeater. Yeah.
Oh, wow.
And he was having interference issues because our sister repeater, which is down in, I don't know, where is that? Plymouth, was basically also keying up at the same time he was sending from the mountain. So he's just like, I can't remember which PL you guys are on, but I'm triggering both repeaters at the same time because I'm also hearing another conversation from somebody else. And I'm like, yeah, that's probably our sister repeater. So yeah, he was booming in. I'm like, oh, dude, he's like, yeah, we just put a new 2-meter repeater up on the top of this mountain. I'm like, he sent me pictures, and it's like the tower is covered in like horizontal ice and everything. It's like, it's insane. But he's like, yeah, here, the antenna's at the very top of this, 45-foot tower or something like that. Yeah, pretty cool to have that conversation. And, he was freaking clear as day. There was no noise on his signal whatsoever. I was just like, wow, this is pretty cool.
That's cool.
Yeah, outside of that, I didn't really do much ham radio stuff. I think I've been, trying to gear up for some other projects that I've been working on. I've been trying to get out to do the, antenna review for the Rybakoff, because every time, I've been like, oh, I got to go out and do it. Then I get sidetracked. I get a phone call. It's like Todd said, this is usually the quiet time for me, but it's not that way in the IT world now. Everybody's got money to spend, and so they're all trying to get shit done. So I'm stuck, spending every making minute of my day doing some IT related client, projects. So it is what it is. But yeah, I do long for playing a little more ham radio for sure. So, oh well. Outside of that, yeah, I don't know. Outside of that, well, let's roll into our conversation today. So we have Marvin, president of the Winter Field Day crew, and Mike, social media manager. Is that your official title, Mike? Is that what Marvin has dubbed you?
That's what we're going with.
Okay, all right, we'll go with that one. So yeah, we're going to talk Winter Field Day. I'm hoping there's some interesting stuff going on. There always is with this crew. They're always pushing the envelope a little bit more to make it more interesting, or adding new features from people's input and stuff like that. So Marvin, I'll give you the floor. You tell me kind of where you want to go, and let us know what's going on with Winter Field Day this year.
Yeah, I just want to kind of give some people some background first. Maybe they've heard of Winter Field Day. Maybe they haven't heard about Winter Field Day. But this year it marks our 19th year as the event stands, and it really began in 2007 as like almost a modest experiment per se with a group, and it's now grown into a very robust event, and an annual exercise per se that I don't think really has any signs of slowing down either, because it's anything from last year we had 357,000 contacts logged. I think we had around 26,000 different call signs that were used, and I think somewhere around 775 clubs participated. So I mean, Yeah, I had some big numbers, and they really, I think, kind of tell a compelling story about how Winter Field Day has grown into such a niche, side event that has really taken off and continues to grow and expand every year. It really becomes a fixture in people's amateur radio calendar every year as well, because I can almost take a bet that within a week of Summer Field Day, someone's reaching out to us and saying, "Hey, when are the rules going to be released for Winter Field Day? We're looking to start, our scheduling and events
already."
Already. So, I mean, I guarantee you, it's gonna. If I ask in June, that would be a question that will come up that people ask all within a week. But so I mean, that's kind of a testament to time of what's going on. But really, again, this started back with an organization called SPAR in 2007. They thought we need to do a wintertime type of event of some sort. And so in September, their board voted to, kind of organize a Winter Field Day event as well. And, they decided in January of 2007 that they'd do the first Winter Field Day. So, kind of, again, it was kind of an initial experiment to see if it would work or, how many people participated. And it became an annual event with a lot of fun and, preparing and making people, ready for like an IMCOM. And I don't know if that is really an IMCOM focus, maybe so much back then as we have kind of put that more of a spin on it today. I do want to kind of distinguish us from Summer Field Day, which, a lot of people say it's not a contest, but some people say it is a contest. And we have a contest element about us, but we don't really want to make that the focus per se of what we do in Winter Field Day. We do have the scoring, everything that's in there, but that's just to kind of have a way to judge your activity and how well you did, and really, as you prepare for Winter Field Day this year, if you're thinking about doing it and something you want to do, there's our website. First of all, you can go out and see on our website the list of places that are registered that might be close to you. And if you haven't registered for a Winter Field Day, saying, "Hey, I'm going to have a site here," it may be private, maybe public, please go out to our winterfieldday.com and please register on the site there for us, and kind of let us know how many clubs or people are participating. It helps us a little bit on that edge to see where things are at. But as we have always kind of said in our, since I took it over in 2022, but I think we kind of kept some of the same language around, was that, our heart is really rooted in emergency preparedness. And as we all know, Winter Field Day, you're, I want to say, under our website, we have something about basically, I don't know I always have to go read it for word because I can't remember. But it basically it gives you a chance to train under adverse conditions, and testing your system, your strain on your power systems, your antennas, your endurance. How long can you operate? How long can you go? How warm can you stay? That is all some of the things that you need to figure out, because we all know that batteries don't hold up as well in cold weather. And snow and ice can create and issues as well. And Winter Field Day, you can run your stuff on battery or solar or generators, but again, that doesn't mean other weather can't have an effect on you. And setting up multiple antennas in case one fails or something. How many times have we all gone out and did a POTA activation, forgot the microphone or forgot the antenna or forgot something? Hopefully we didn't forget the radio ever, but we've all forgotten something along the ways, or had issues out in the field that we've got. Man, this power pole connector just came off. It broke off. It wasn't well connected. It wasn't well put together. Now I got to figure out how to improvise and make something happen to be able to get power to get the radio back on again. And we, of course, always want to make sure we give you that part of the training, and it helps build you up as a person, because you learn something from it every year. I know myself and many others do a a debrief at the end, a kind of a summary of what worked well, what didn't go well, and those sort of things, and what we can improve on for this next year. And it's always good to go back and refer to those notes as well. I think that's always something that I've always kind of done, and it makes a lot of sense. And hopefully you're improving from year to year. But Winter Field Day gives you an opportunity also to play on different bands. We do stay off the work bands, but it gives you an opportunity to do HF, VHF, UHF, and of course you can do single side bands, CW, and digital. And we don't we encourage every one of those, and really we also encourage getting out into the field, not just staying at home. But we understand people have issues where it may be sick, or maybe they're just don't have the ability. An older person may not have the ability to get out and set up a tent and do those sort of things. But people set up in community centers and fire departments and tents and everything else. And mobile trailers and whatever they can find. So that's what I mean. What you guys had, 2 tents last year? I had my trailer last year at Winter Field Day, and we all made it through the night, and we were all here surviving the next day. So
that was up at our president's location, very good location, and that I think overnight we had 2 tents. We had 3 tents plus your trailer operating all day. I know you were doing mostly digital for that one, but yeah, we had CW, which you had to contend with. Sorry, we apologize for putting you so close to the CW guys. Right. But it was a blast. It was good to be at that height for sure.
It was good, yeah, absolutely. And then the other thing is, again, just making sure that you're being ready. But we have our broadcast message that you can copy. We try and push out the message via different modes. Like this year, we're going to do PSK 31 versus last year we did Olivia. So we kind of push people to their limit to try something new. We're always encouraging, making contact with WinLink and things like that. We'll go through some of the objectives here in a minute. I'll pull it up on the page so I can see that a little easier. But those are kind of my highlights of Winter Field Day, some history and where we're at, and we can talk about where we're going to go down the road as well. Mike, anything you want to add? I've kind of missed out on top, on the quick highlights of what Winter Field Day is and kind of what we're about.
I think you hit it really well. The only thing I want to add is something I have kind of refined as I talk to people in our Discord, which I'll get the link to our Discord in the chat if that's okay, because I think that's where the best things happen on social media for Winter Field Day is in our Discord.
Absolutely.
We have longer form conversations. People are more engaged. But one thing I've refined, and as far as it's really just become a talking point, is, to me, my vision for Winter Field Day is it's an exercise where we focus on skills that we need the most in an emergency and diminish the most without practice. And that's the lens I look at when people say, like, well, maybe you should do this, maybe you should do that. We have a lot of discussions about maybe we should allow repeater contacts because we currently don't. And Helene is a great real world example of how repeater contacts made a measurable difference.
Yeah.
And so, sure. But it's also, and I agree with that 100%. And we're looking at ways to maybe incorporate repeater contacts. But the counter to that is how difficult is the skill to make a contact on a repeater? And so
for a lot of new hams, a lot.
Yeah. Well, and that's good to know too, because for me, I don't know. And that's something we have to look at too, is how much do we need to go into that? Because that's been the argument too, is do we allow repeater contacts to get more engagement with technicians? And I think it's got a lot of potential, and it's one of those things we have to look at carefully. But like Ted mentioned, go ahead.
It might be interesting kind of in a traffic passing kind of standpoint, like where each will say you have a designated, I mean, obviously not this year would be worthwhile to do it, but maybe in the future years that, there's we'll say an area coordinator person that deposits a message, just like how we usually do the message, portion of WinLink and that stuff for field day in general. Having that pass through as like a kind of a hot potato, and every repeater that gets it has to repeat it back and then pass it on to the next, person with their call sign. So you've captured at least a chain effect of, the message, going from one location, and see how far, it could reach, if we could go coast to coast, if that, adds extra bonus points, or it crosses your state into a new state kind of thing. I don't know. It would be interesting to kind of spread that, because I feel repeaters don't get used a lot, period. And we all sit around going, let's create more noise, but 9 times out of 10, barely any noise ever happens on a repeater except, a voice net or a message traffic net, or, a scheduled, rag chew kind of net. And then they're dead through the rest of the day. So, having that kind of, extra added noise would be, definitely a plus. And,
what's great about repeaters is I'll sit here and I'll listen to the All-Star node, which essentially is a repeater, right?
Yeah. Yep.
And I'll hear call sign monitoring, and then immediately following, oh yes, and also different call sign monitoring. Well, listen, you dumb fucks. Like you're not just monitoring, right? Like, I mean, if you're gonna throw something out there, just answer the last guy and be like, hey buddy, I hear you. Yep. Let's have a quick little conversation.
Yep. 100%, man. 100%. I mean, I
monitoring.
You had that one guy you talked in Amsterdam for almost 45 minutes on HR20's repeater on his hub, and that was a great conversation. You had a lot of people going, and I've had similar conversations with other people too as well, like that, and just kind of spiraled on. And I kept saying, oh, let's put a pause in the middle here so other people can keep joining in, so they don't just listen, and they can jump in, kind of thing. Yeah, I'm with you.
I did share my screen for kind of our objectives.
We'll drop that on there.
And the repeater in this conversation, this is exactly what happens in our Discord too, is we get a good idea, an expansion, and so on and so forth. And one of the things that I do is I try to capture paragraphs and paragraphs of discussion and turn them into suggestions that go into the next year. One thing that some people ask about, we like to make clear, is once we publish the rules, and we try to publish the rules before September, because like Marvin said, people start asking in June and July. But
I don't understand. It's a one-day event. Why are they preparing that far in advance? But I get it.
They do.
All I can do is enjoy the enthusiasm.
Yeah, true.
But once we put the rules out, we'll make administrative changes. There's always typos. There's always this, that, and the other. Maybe a sentence needs to be rewritten. We rewrote an entire sentence because someone pointed out, hey, I interpret this. I would have never guessed they would have interpreted it that way. We rewrote a sentence for them. But we will not change. Yeah, but we will not change how the once the rules are out, we will not change how they're conducted. Right, and that's a guarantee we like to give to people, because they have those concerns about, oh gosh, it's version 3 now, I have to, whatever they might think, we have to replan. So when we talk about repeaters, I like to tell them, look, this is for 2027 at the earliest, and we have some pretty good ideas for objectives that we want to do for repeaters. And this is my way to get into what Marvin's showing with the objective screen. But we're most certainly going to start out, if we start out with repeater contacts, we'll start out with objectives that allow repeater contacts, and then we'll see if it makes sense to have repeater contacts writ large for the event.
Hey, Marvin, zoom that up a little bit just so we can see it. A couple more. There we go. One more. There we go. Okay, cool. Perfect.
Oh, beautiful.
I can see it now.
Yeah. So this is it's the event summary, but it really gives you the opportunity to kind of see the point multiplier that we have. So you have possible 33 points. So I don't do hand math online, but you make 100 contacts. You got 33, different objectives you've completed, or I'm sorry, all these different objectives with a total of 33 points. You can do the math, figure out what it is. But here's some of the things that we've done. And this is something we 2 years ago, we made a lot of people mad, just pissed people off literally, because we kind of took away the bonus points And I was like, well, who really cares? It's not that big a deal. Then we came back with this as a way for people to not have bonus points, but we now have a point multiplier. So we do have to give you one point for multiplier for participating, just because if you make 270 contacts and 270 times 0 is 0, you don't get any points. And so we realized our math was not working out that way. So we did have to give you at least 1 point for participating. That was an error.
Can we get rid of participation trophies? Come on.
And,
yeah, we have to give trophy. Yes, we do. Unfortunately,
and that's the conversation we had too. Was anyone who's sensitive to participation trophies, you're welcome.
Yeah.
If you want to do bare minimum, number of pieces of flair. Anyway,
one of the guys we asked about was, hey, do I get more points for operating away from home or outside of home? And it was like, yeah, operate from home. You get, so 1 point times 3, you get 3 points just for one contact, So it makes a lot more sense that, but if you're only operating from home, you only get the 1 point. So you're already steps ahead by operating away from your home. Deploying multiple antennas, making a satellite contact using FM or single sideband CW. Obviously, those are a little tougher, so you get some more points for that. Copy the Winter Field Day Special Bulletin. That changes just a little bit every year. We will have it in 3 different locations throughout the U.S. as well as one in Europe this year. And I'll get back to that in just a second here. Operate at least 6 different bands. Operate on 12 different bands, and then using multiple modes. If you want to operate the event QRP, you get even more points for that. And so, or operate at least 6 continuous hours during the event, which most people can probably do. So that's a lot of points that you can really rack up for doing some really simple things, which is really nice. In regards to the Winter Field Day Special Bulletin, Winter Field Day is not just unique to North America. We actually opened it up to the world. And last year we had over 30 different stations that were operating in Europe, in and around Europe, I should say, probably. And, we have, I'm sure we'll have many more this year again. We have a great group that's on our Discord channel that is over in Europe that's asked to kind of do the Winter Field Day Bulletin from there. And we've reached out with the Commission Regulation Group in Ireland to, with their help, we kind of wrote a supporting letter saying, hey, we want this group to be able to do this so they can increase their transmit power in Europe just for transmitting that bulletin. So it's kind of cool that we're able to do that. And I think that's pretty good. So I think there's one other, again, go out and register your location. All this information is, in this packet, which can be found on our, go back one real quick. So if you go to Winter Field Day and you go to rules, and then you go down here where it says the Winter Field Day event, download the complete event by clicking here. You can pull up that whole power or the whole presentation, and it gives you all the information I just had a minute ago. So it'll give you the whole packet. It gives you everything you need to know. Initially we took this over. It was like, 12, 15 pages. And, we've got maybe, we don't have quite that many. I guess overall, we really only have about 10 pages now. But we give you the Cabrillo format of whether we use it or not and that sort of thing. The other thing is we do have this little flyer, that is, you can put your own local information in here and share this with your own little group. And so a lot of people really like this as well. And they really appreciate having this available to do that. So we try and provide a lot of resources and information to people. And, if you haven't checked out the website, I do have to throw this short capitalism plug in there that we do have our own shop site now, and you can go get Winter Field Day on the site. So we, have kind of a limited selection of things. This is our first year doing it. And, this is kind of helps support us because we don't have any sponsors or, other than donations, which you can go to the homepage and go up here to make a donation. But if you'd like to buy something from the store, a few dollars, literally, I don't think we make more than about $4 or $5 on anything particularly. And so we try and keep the prices reasonable for people without having to, completely, I can't charge you, $35 for a t-shirt, we want people to be able to go out and buy the equipment and share or to buy the gear and share out that they have this as well. So, we hope that you'll kind of help support us this way.
Suggestion, my friend, patch.
Oh yeah, we could probably do a patch. Yeah, that'd be a good idea.
I'd love to throw that on a bag for sure.
Yep, we can definitely do that. So,
but I'm wearing the shirt from the site right now. It's
very cool. And if you threw maybe a 6-pack in with your pint glass, I'm sure you'd definitely be able to scoop up a bunch of people.
Yeah, exactly. Under our resources page, we do have like our logging programs. And this is the other thing I need to say is that we have, we kind of recommend these as our logging programs, but and probably should be added to this list as well because a lot of people do use it. But the thing is, like last year N3FJP, I think we had like, do you remember how many Andrew gave us for a number of how many different versions of N3FJP people were using last year?
I don't remember the specific number, but so I made a social media post about a month ago now that it was joke based and it was essentially a picture of a Windows 3.1 desktop, and I said, if your computer still looks like this, you probably need to update your logging software.
Yeah,
and that's the extent to which we've seen old versions of software.
We're talking probably 20, 25 plus versions of N3FJP alone. So if you're out there using N3FJP, he will produce probably 2 or 3 different versions this year alone. So just make sure prior to Winterfield Day, within that week, go out and get the version, whatever the latest is. I mean, this says 2.9, but he probably has 2.9.2 out or something now.
I get the ham's ideas of like, let's just run desktops till like literally catch fire and then throw water on it and then revive it again. So I really like ARL's no different. Like, I mean, even some of the contesting, site, it's like they hang on to these things. I'm like, guys, just stop. You're causing more problems than you are good.
It creates a lot of problems because the N3FGP will go out and update things. And then we get, some field has changed from, I don't know, maybe whatever field changed something. And so when we get it into our, when you export
it all off,
and then it goes into our database, our summaries, and then we go to score it, we got some random field out here. Like, where the hell does this go? Or what is this now? And it was probably category, but it was something that changed the name at some point, 10 years ago, and no one updated their version of N3FJP at that point. And I'm throwing them under the bus. It's just every logger across the board. But
I'm with you on that. I mean, even N1MM is a pain in the ass, but
N1MM is a pain in the ass year round.
Oh yeah, I know. Yeah. I'm not saying like, come on, like let's get past the 1990s and let's like redevelop an interface that actually like makes sense in your flows. But yeah, don't get me going.
That's why we actually partner with World Radio League.
Well, I was going to ask that. So tell me a little bit about some of that stuff. Like I knew you guys were developing a dashboard, kind of a real-time dashboard. Is that going to look better this year or be more interactive and useful?
Yes, I think so. So, yes, they are doing their dashboard again for us, and you'll be able to do your logging right to World Radio League, and then you can when you're done, and then submit it right over to our site and whatnot. But I know they're making some changes. They've had big changes they've done this year in World Radio League. And the contest, if you want to go sign up for World Radio League, it's free. And, you can join over there and export your ADIF, and they will be compliant with our ADIF import. And James and Andy have been working hard to make sure we're good to go for this year with World Radio League. And it's cool because you can compete with other people across the country or around the world, really, that's using World Radio League. And you can kind of see your score in real time as you're going.
Yeah, this is one of the kind of the impetus for me to like decide, because I developed the central log. I mean, you obviously know what it was, Marvin, right, when we had it on Winterfield Day. And for what it was worth, it's kind of gotten to a point where it's like, I just want something that we just provide everybody internet, and World Radio League is kind of what I'm thinking I'm going to push this year for for Winterfield Day, just because we have like 2-3 stations max. So it's a good way to test it out. And, I'd rather I'm not going to always participate overnight, but in essence, I'd love to be able to see what the stats are when I wake up, 3 or 4 in the morning, or 5 in the morning to see where we're at, where if it's going to be real time and kind of interactive for both people watching and those that are doing it.
Right. And so, they have I'm going to stop the sharing, but it's one of those things that they've come around a long way, and, they've been really easy to work with. And, they're doing the World Radio WRTC in 2026. And they're such a modern logger, and they should have out before Winter Field Day the desktop version for both Mac and Windows. And I fully anticipate them having that done here very shortly, if not by end of the year, early January. So you'll have time to test that and use it on your desktop. If not, you've got to log into World Radio League. You have to download the cat control, log into World Radio League, choose your logbook, and then it will just, it works out really well. In fact, I have a video coming out tomorrow on my integration with the Flex Radio and how I did WSJTX and World Radio League. And it kind of shows you that setup. And you can just do World Radio League without having to, throw a WSJTX into it too. But it'll give you how to do that. I'm doing it from a Mac side. I don't play with Windows, but, for those who have Windows, it would work very similar in the process overall. So,
and Paul, you're not supposed to mention that we had a Winterfield Day sweatshirt when the Winterfield Day president's here. Although we didn't steal the logo, so no harm, no foul there.
Shameless capitalism. I understand.
No. I think we had two.
I think that was prior to the takeover.
What? Oh, was it? Okay, I didn't. No, I think Marvin was. Yeah. Nice try there.
maybe it was the first year of the takeover.
It was the first year. So yeah, we stuck it under the radar.
But yeah, if you want to support us, again, we're nonprofit. We're a 501c3 organization, and we're 100% donor funded. So, we do have a little bit to keep the lights on per se for our back end, and have costs to keep our Zooms for our meetings and things like that we have to do, and pay for the hosting cost and all those things that go along with it. And so
you guys, back to the sponsor thing, you guys Lycom kind of pulled out this year, didn't they? Or was that the case?
They pulled out, earlier this year. ICOM did it, but they pulled out from a lot of different things. It wasn't just us. And so we've kind of really gone 100% on donations. And we, sometimes people donate $5, and sometimes people donate $25. I've seen, different clubs donate $100, and we don't keep a lot in the coffer, but it's just enough to keep us running throughout the year. We probably need, call it 1,500, 2,000 total to operate. We buy swag and stuff out of that as well. So any couple of pennies helps here and there. So
we have a good news story about donations whenever you want to hear that too.
Oh yeah, fire away, man. If you got, I was going to kind of plug it here a little bit, but yeah, go ahead, give us the story, and then I'll follow it up.
Sure. Yeah. So we have a PayPal that anyone can donate to, and they can set up recurring donations. And so I've been working with a member in our Discord. He's an extra. He had about a 10-year break. He's getting back into it, and 10 years away from ham radio does a lot to diminish your knowledge and skills. And so he bought a new he bought an FT 450D Yaesu.
Oh, good radio.
Yeah, and that's honestly, working with him on getting it up has kind of convinced me to get one, because they're pretty cheap on eBay for what they are, and way cheaper than the 857 I just bought. But anyway, that's a different story.
100 watts and a tuner.
Yeah, and but I've been working back and forth with him, and he's like, hey, you want me to buy you a bottle of scotch or whatever? And first of all, I said, single malt. But then I said, hey, instead of that, donate to our PayPal. That's if you want to show your gratitude in any way, that's the best way to do it. But that's the kind of level.
And the bottle of scotch.
Yeah. And definitely single malt. None of that blended swill. But the thing is that is I will do that regardless of whether you want to pay us or not. I will go one-on-one with you in our Discord if you have an issue. And I will, and I'll help you if I can, and that the FT 450D thing was, I learned a lot about a radio I don't own, trying to help this guy out, and it ended up, working out for everybody.
Very cool. Yeah, that's definitely my first radio I cut my teeth on when I got back in the hobby. So it's you learn a lot when you don't have to rely heavily on a nice, pretty waterfall and telling you where the signals are. So you develop a good acumen. But good for a lot of folks there. And so, yeah, I would say, guys, and I'll throw this out to you because I know our Lifferingham audience. You guys have been super supportive of all of us and all the things that we do, and helped obviously TI. Winter Field Day is not much different, guys. Like literally, this is an organization that's self-funded and doing its best to obviously provide you guys a great experience for one weekend out of a year. And they plan all of that throughout the year. You might not hear from them, but they're already busy doing, obviously going through all the logging aspect of it. But once they're done with that, they're back thinking, what are they going to do next, and how they're going to adapt and change and take people's feedback and stuff like that. And so it's a labor of love. I can say that honestly, being part of a club. I know that. Go ahead, Paul. You got a question?
So, all right, I got to ask this, right? Because for all the vain listeners out there that want recognition for their donations, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like, what is the minimum donation amount to get your name on the website or something, right?
Or is there?
So right now we don't have a scheme for that. And that's actually something we've talked about in multiple meetings, is formalizing that and streamlining how we get people on board. And right now we're if someone asked, we would have to shrug, and that's something we need to work on.
Okay, fair, honest answer.
Next year is, again, I mentioned it very early when I started talking, was, we're celebrating 19 years this year, and next year will be our 20th year. And so we will have a theme for next year, probably moving forward, similar to what ARRL does during the summer. And, we're like he said, we're talking about it, and we're trying to come up with what that's going to be and what that's going to look like. But definitely our T-shirt will change every year. And next year will be a 20th anniversary shirt. And so we're really looking forward to that being a good shirt and hopefully a good seller as well. But we're able to get them out this year, and, people start seeing them, and we're getting a lot of people are out there buying them too, which is great. So I'm glad to see that happening as well. So
my how much, and if you can give me a number on the show now, we can talk, or if you have to do it offline, fine, to get a new logo. I know people are held on to that one tight. I can't stand it.
We're going to keep the bear logo, but again, our kind of our theme of the shirt will change, and what that looks like.
Can we make the bear less like Polar, can company logo-ish looking, and make them a little bit more, I don't know, rougher, tougher?
We went through and did the logo that you see this year on the T-shirt in our store. We went through Freelancer, or what's the other one that's out there?
Fiverr.
And one of those two we went through. I don't remember which were off the top of my head. And people came back with like grizzly bears. They're trying to draw and everything else. It was like, that's not the Winter Field Day bear we're looking for. I don't know if we can really change that theme much, just because the polar is, the polar bear is kind of the winter. He's cold, that sort of thing. And it's been with Winter Field Day for as long as I've been around. So, it's been kind of his theme. But I don't know. We'll see.
So you're saying,
all right, I got
money talks then.
I like the logo.
I kind of do too. I don't know. But
I don't know what your problem is, Eric, but I thought the logo was pretty cool.
I don't. Okay. We'll put a pin in that one. I'll tell you why later. But anyway, Paul, go please before I dig a hole.
I don't know. I mean, maybe stick the bear in an ATV or something. But so I got a very very important question. All right, is there plans for bonus points for Parachute Mobile contacts during Winter Field Day?
All right, I got this one.
That is not fair. They can't do that up here in the north.
just to confirm, you said Parachute Mobile?
Mm-hmm.
Parachute Mobile.
Yeah, I'm air assault, so absolutely not. Never.
There you go. Over his dead body, and as long as he's on the board.
Yep, you can write leg on my coffin. That's fine.
It's funny.
Wow. You heard it here, folks. Sorry, Paul.
I mean, what a fantastic weekend that would be, right? Just jump after jump after jump.
What for?
Making Winter Field Day contacts.
For two of you to participate?
I know, right? Thank you. I think it's very narrow-minded, but hey, Good to put it
Well,
out there.
in all fairness, right? Carlos is in Indiana where he's not jumping currently. So it would just be me.
You.
So it's downright selfish. Got it. Okay.
Yes.
Although I don't know if you guys saw the comment earlier from Ted. He had an interesting one that I thought was like good for a multiplier future kind of thing. Was that his whole? I'll put it up here in a second. He was saying we need a multiplier for temperature. Because I know you guys down there in California and Arizona and Florida are all complaining about how damn cold it is, but it's nothing up here. And I know Paul knows exactly how cold it gets when the sun goes down around here. So, maybe a multiplier for those that, can do it in a t-shirt and shorts in Arizona or Florida during the night hours or something.
I like that.
Dude, I was doing it in a t-shirt and shorts in New Hampshire.
I know, but dude, your tent was like literally, just shy of 99 degrees.
That was the sauna in there.
It was. He was sweating the bourbon. That was how much hot it was.
So I've actually earmarked that to put on our spreadsheet. We've got a spreadsheet for every suggestion that comes in, good, bad, or indifferent, and so we'll look at it, and I don't want to give any over under on it getting implemented, but I like the idea. Just everyone who submits a suggestion definitely understand that the more complicated the suggestion, the more effort it's going to take on the back end to make sure that we're doing it the right way.
But if I put FT8 in the subject line, it just automatically goes to spam, right?
Yeah, right to the delete file.
I will. I guarantee you, anything with FT8 will get a personal response from me.
In a very special way.
Boy, you are dumber than a sack of hammers.
Yep. All right, cool. So let's kind of dive into a little bit of some of this year's, kind of highlights, things that are on the plate for Winter Field Day that folks need to be aware of and should maybe consider and let us know what you guys have changed up this year from last year, or what you're working on.
Well, I'm going to give that turnover that to Mike, but I do, Mike, if you want to talk about your little JS8 sidebar it's not really official kind of Winter Field Day this year, but he is running a little bit of an event with that. So you want to talk about that, and then some of the changes that you and Michael have worked on.
Sure. Yeah. So we've taken inspiration from, and I say it's really the participants have taken inspiration from Jason Cam4ACK with his WinLink challenge, which I participated in this last Winter Field Day, and until recently, I lived about an hour and a half away from him, so it was very easy to do that kind of thing. But his challenge was essentially utilize WinLink in a certain way that gets you into some functions you wouldn't normally do. It's not just about sending an email. Mm-hmm. And one of our participants on Discord said, well, maybe we should do a JS8 challenge. And so I put a poll out there, and the overwhelming response, like 2/3 of the respondents were like, yeah, unequivocally, let's do a JS8 challenge. So I went back to the participants, said, all right, this is yours. We'll platform you any way you like. You do the work. This is not a Winter Field Day sponsored thing. It's just like Jason does his own thing, but he has his own platform. But anyone who wants to do it, we'll give them a platform. So there's a JS8 challenge, and in the process of that, there's now a VAR-AC challenge. And so we have two different participants developing two different challenges that are essentially get into the software, learn it, use it in a particular way, and you don't get any more points or benefit from us, but you do get recognition. We'll recognize it, and now you've learned two new modes that are extremely popular, and I think making headway into events like this. So, but some of the new things we've done, the brand new objective we've come up with for 2026, and not everyone loves it, but those are the best ones. So we've had this operate on 6 bands, and we modified that a little bit to say you have to make 3 contacts on 6 bands. So repeatability is So 3 contacts on 6 bands. So the rationale is you need repeatability if you're going to demonstrate that you can make contacts on a band.
And is that in a set amount of time, or is that throughout the whole entire weekend?
Yeah, any time in that 30 hours.
Okay.
and any mode, any band that we allow. So what I looked at was there's and Marvin alluded to this earlier. There are some people who are not super pleased that we got rid of the band mode multipliers years ago.
They're kind of silly. I mean, in essence, it's more contest focused again, and it's like that's not what it's about.
Right. And so this is something I pushed for. So anyone mad about this, you can email me directly. But I pushed for a 12 band multiplier. So now,
wow. Holy moly.
So yeah, six is trivial. Honestly, if you can make you can make 3 contacts in 6 bands without a whole lot of effort.
Yeah.
12 bands is a different story, right? So now you are at the very least you're getting into something in the gigahertz. At least one band into whether it's 1.2 gigahertz or 2.4 gigahertz, right?
And that alone on Winter Field Day, man, that's definitely a challenge.
And the reason I did it wasn't just the people who were mad about the end of the band mode multipliers, but I had several people say, look, we have this gear that we're just not going to bring out and test. And so I said, okay, well, here's your opportunity. And I don't know if we're going to keep it. It really depends on reception in this year. But one thing I'll tell people is the objectives are not all meant to be easy. And this is a hard objective. Yeah. And I acknowledge it's a hard objective. But things like dust off your 220 radio. There are still 220 repeaters out there where you can, hey, anyone, you can solicit contacts on a repeater. You can't make contacts on a repeater. You can solicit those contacts. Meshtastic, you can make amateur meshtastic contacts, but they have to be point to point. Yeah, they have to. Yeah, exactly. They're in the 33 centimeter band. They have to be point to point. They can't be through the mesh. And we have a whole statement about that in our rules. So things like that. Nice. I wanted to get people to think outside the box. We'll see if it works that way.
Well, funny thing with the outside of the box stuff is that it takes a little while to adopt because people just get so tied into their rule sets and like, oh, I've learned the rules of the game, so now I can play it to my advantage, kind of thing. I think that's the way Summer Field Days kind of felt for me for a while.
Yeah, and we adjusted. We used to have it where your alternative energy or your alternative power objective was you had to run your lights and heat on alternative, and we changed it to you do not have to run your lights and heat on alternative power. You just have to run all your station equipment. I've gotten some feedback that people are not super pleased with that direction, and we'll see what happens. But those changes are going to happen every year. They're not going to be fundamental changes, but you because what emergency is the same from one to another.
Yeah.
And we're not pretending to be an Oxcom event. We're not pretending to be a hardcore MCOM event. But again, training those ham radio skills that people should use the most, and one of those is breaking complacency. So any little things we can do to break complacency, we're going to do from year to year.
But one thing to add on to that is that these changes come not because we sat around for 4 hours doing some brainstorming going, let's see how we can really screw up and F with people, for next year. It's because the suggestions that people provide to us, and we either had enough of them, that, multiple people, submitted a question or comment that, said, hey, how about you do something like this, that we thought, hey, you know what, let's take and run with that. Or, something is like, hey, you know what, like when I first came out to the Northeast and I realized that, we were running for 24 hours and you started at 1 o'clock on the Eastern time and a park closed at 4 o'clock. It's like that gave people like 2 hours to 3 hours because they had to, spend time setting up and tearing down, etc. And so we expanded that time to 30 hours and backed off the initial start time to like 11 a.m. on Saturday for people in the Northeast because the parks and daylight and everything. We made that suggestion based on that. So that's been a positive that we've kept around. But that was all kind of, again, came from something I learned and people, also complaining about it. So something I had no idea of otherwise. So we do this based on participants' feedback, and that's how some of these changes come about.
and not to cast shade on any other organization, but we, you as a participant have direct access to us. Every suggestion, no matter how outlandish, it makes it into my spreadsheet, and some of them are not going to make it into the event, right?
I want to see that list.
Like Parachute Mobile.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I'll put it in there, and I'll put a little picture of my aerosol badge next to it. But no, but those are things that we spend time talking about that, and to kind of relate a story to that. So it wasn't clear before. I'm still in the Army, active duty, and I just moved from Alabama to Missouri, and I was living out of my garage as my house was being painted because I was trying to sell it, and living out of my garage, working with Michael Turner, vice president, on getting the rules out at the end of August, trying to get the rules out. So that is, it's real time we spent. We don't get paid for this. So, but whatever you, so just to say, not that I need anyone's like sympathy or gratitude, but we put real time into this, and it mattered because it matters to us.
Very much, yeah.
Yeah, your feedback matters. This event is for the participants. Not
You're the
for
most amazing guy.
That's right. The best. You know it. I know it. Everybody knows it.
Cool. Yeah, no, dude. Like I said, I think a lot of people just take for granted a lot of these organizations that just pop up and do these awesome, amazing things year over year, but they just don't realize that there's a lot of time, energy, and effort involved, and it's people's, labor of love a lot of times because they're not getting paid, but they just do it because they see the difference. They feel like they're making a difference, and it's something they love to do. So, like, yeah, dude, throw them a few bucks. You throw us YouTubers, who sit in front of a screen and just talk all the time. I mean, we're like the laziest bunch in the world, right? And you throw money at us to support us. So, do the same for something like Winter Field Day.
Absolutely, we appreciate it. It's one of those things that we've had monthly board meetings every pretty much almost every month this year. And we've also had a technical meeting. So we're meeting for an hour, 2 hours at a time sometimes. So, and that's just the time we've done, on Zoom, talking and sharing about this information back and forth. But, we also have off-board time that we look at those help desk tickets that come in. And when you email us, it goes to our help desk. And we literally can set that as a trigger to, this is pending, or, hey, we need to investigate this more, or we could just make it a quick, simple response, answer you and respond back and close the ticket. But, we do keep track of all that, and it's all, filtered, and it's really kind of cool. So we've really stepped up that game and have made a lot of difference. And Mike helped us a lot with that this year. So, he's kind of helping on some feedback on some of these tickets. In fact, I went to go check on a couple a day. He already responded to them all. I was like, holy crap, he's already on top of it. So, yeah.
Well, the good news is we're on top of everything. The bad news is if you don't want to talk to me, you might be out of luck.
Hey,
well, I've seen some phenomenal, Twitter postings.
So yeah, we had a whole story arc with the Black Sheep Radio Society out of the VE7 area in Canada, and
which I believe Paul is a member of.
No.
Nope. Part of Flag and Torch.
Well, Flag and Torch is
yeah.
We should if we want to, we can talk about that too.
Yeah,
we had an interesting Twitter. It went from beef to besties, and it was really just a matter of how to talk to people. And Twitter is an interesting place, and it's
it sure is.
And so
it's just amazing the responses sometimes that you guys get, and then like Mike, I love it because you speak my language, which is memes. And so you'll throw a meme in there, and it's an obvious joke, right? Like, I mean, it's a why the fuck you get your panties in a twist kind of joke, and they'll get all upset about it, and then the thread goes on and on and on. It's just hilarious.
And that's the struggle I have is we've got professionals like Marvin and his brother Michael running this organization. You have people like me who kind of exist on the other side of the spectrum, and I try to balance the representation of a professional organization against man, you said something really stupid and I'm about to roast you for it. And I've only let him down a couple of times so far.
Yeah. Can't always hit bat 1,000, right?
Mike, go ahead and give a quick Cliff Note version of Flag and Torch and kind of what we're doing with them this year. Just so people are kind of
because that's some awesome shit.
Yeah, so the Flag and Torch Society is a military affiliated amateur radio club, and Paul, just correct me if I'm wrong on this, but I think I got the talking point down. So it seeks to bridge the gap between amateur radio operators and military communicators, because that Venn diagram is there's a lot of overlap there. A lot of communicators.
Bridging the gap is the exact verbiage. Yeah.
Right. See, I'm doing my job as a PR guy pretty well, but no, so someone came to our Discord again. All the best things for Winterfield Day happened in the Discord, and asked, hey, we're pretty spread out. If we wanted to operate in your rules, and our rules say you have to be within a 300 meter circle. If we try to accomplish that, we'd have maybe 2 of our hundreds of members participate. Can we get an exception to operate multiple locations across the country? So that hit home for me immediately. I am active duty military, and I don't think I've ever told the guys this. So I had one of my few paper QSL cards was from the Flag and Torch Society, and I think it was a CW POTA contact, and I was like, wow. And I looked them up, and I was like, this is amazing. And then I did the thing I always do, and it's like, oh, I forgot to join, and I forgot to talk to them. So anyway, but I knew of their existence, and I knew kind of what they did, and I looked closely at it, and I immediately just went to our board chat and said, this is something we need to look closer at. And it took us 2 months of talking with the Flag and Torch Society, talking with the board to figure out how do we do this in a way that 1, meets their needs, and 2, doesn't trigger a bunch of COVID exception operating from the recliner rules. Because what I didn't want to do is
contesting type clubs.
Yes, because I'm speaking for myself. I'm not speaking for the Winterfield Day Association. This entire thing of like you can operate from home and aggregate your points with the club that's out in the field is completely unacceptable to what we're doing in Winterfield Day. And to me,
that was a so a lot of people are still confused by that a little bit, but yeah, we definitely cut that off after COVID.
We did, and the other field day didn't, and that's fine. It's their organization, it's their rules, but I deeply disagree with that methodology for anything with the word field in it. Operate from home, you get scored as home. Operate from the field, you get scored as you're in the field. Anyway, I'll try to get off my soapbox for that. So we wanted to craft something that was that met my vision for that and our vision for that for Winterfield Day, and what we figured out was. And also, the Flag and Torch Society basically offered up: we will restrict ourselves to outdoor operations. They said we will make it suck for us as much as you want us to make it suck, so that we can do this. And I took them up on most of that, and we figured out, well, we can do 10 call areas, 10 FCC call areas. You can have 10 stations, 1 in each call area, and it's looking like maybe not every call area will be filled, and so but we might have an American military South Korean station. I am putting a lot of faith in Cody, but we so that as long as they don't break that 10 on the air at any given time, then that's a standard. And I asked them to do centralized logging too. So now they have to real time log with each other, so they're not getting any dues. Yeah.
Well, so that's a challenge to be able to do from multiple state locations like that. So it's going to be interesting to see how they all do that.
Well, I like see where it was funny you talking about this, because I think a couple episodes back we were talking about how we would love to see Live Free and Ham kind of like across of like our vanity call sign across the United States for those that wanted to do Live Free and Ham type stuff. But this thing kind of question came up around that same thing with the Flag and Torch. They couldn't do that same thing. And one thing I would love to see would be like to treat it like, if you guys if we had a club or an organization that had that and they submitted a list of contacts of each of those call zones. So say like that's the rule. The call zones is 1 through 9 or 1 through 0, whatever it is. And for each of those logs you submit for those call zones is also a additional point for other field day stations to make contact with. So if you get all 10, you get an extra, multiplier or something like that. Because that to me is a lot more harder work to figure out how they're going to coordinate because you don't know what's going on. And that is a big military thing. It's like, you don't know what the battlefield's going to look like, but then, you're going to go into this and figure out how to, make the best of, what you have in front of you. And so, that would be cool to be able to operate and work that many stations that are out there and see, to get rewarded for that extra effort.
We should have had them
all right.
somehow on that was had them set up. If you made contact with all, call it 0 through 9 stations, that they'll send you a certificate or something.
I think Paul's about to explain their plan for that.
Well, yeah. So I mean, we can 100% on the Flag and Torch Society side of things, like send somebody a QSL card and a certificate for getting all 10 of the codes. But I gotta ask, right? I mean, has there ever been a club that has sent you guys a mission plan like the Flag and Torch did? Like, dude, we worked hard on that.
Yeah,
like, it was several months in the making.
Yeah, well, and I told I told Berto at the time when he sent it to me, and I'll say it to anyone who listens. That was the only op board I've enjoyed reading in 21 years in the Army. So,
yeah, you were personally invested. Yeah, dude. That's the kind of stuff that I love to see in things like Winterfield Day and other like kind of global amateur radio type things. And so, I'm tired of the old contesting ways and other methods that people have just learned how to manipulate and adopt. And it's like time to make things different and make it more ham radio focused. That gets us to be better operators and learn how to be able to use tools that we don't normally always keep around or use unless we're physically in our shacks or we remember to turn it on.
Well, so many people have griped and bitched over the time that we don't allow FT8. And it's like you have 364 other days a year you can use FT8, and if you don't want to participate in Winter Field Day, just go work your FT8 that day. I don't care. You can do it 365 days then. But it is really, again, getting people outside that box, Eric, and having them use tools they don't normally use, and trying to find ways to, again, keep our bands alive, keep our bands in use, and have people explore more opportunities to do different things.
Well, and crap,
you need I've got multiple things in your toolbox, and you can't just use single sideband your whole life and expect to get by. You're gonna have to have more things in digital mode along the way or something.
Well, and crap, I've got a personal bend on it. It's like I'm tired of how many of us sat in front of SSTV when we first got in the hobby. That tool, that application needs to be set on fire. Like, why does it have to be so like Windows 3.11? Like, why can't we move that bar better? Because we are using it, but in essence, why isn't we aren't creating an environment for people to use it more? And then at the same, go, this is garbage. This is hot garbage. Let's make this better and then improve on it and then create something new. It's that's how FD8 kind of came about. So, or whatever. And so I'm all about improving and innovating because that's what, it's why we have cell phones today and RF communications today, because hams were doing the shit, 20, 30, 40 years ago.
Well, it's one of those things that you're kind of speaking about slow scan television. It will probably most likely be in our 2027 objective list. So if you want to start playing with it now, good time to start going with it. So that will probably be in our objective list for 2027. Hint, hint, hint.
I'm going to go up to ChatGPT and throw it, the WS, the slow scan TV app and say, here, redevelop this app and redevelop a new interface.
It would be awesome. Yeah, I don't. You got MSS.
Yeah, MSS TV or whatever it is.
TV,
that's hot garbage, dude.
Yeah, that's kind of garbage. And then you got the ones from Black Cat Systems. It's okay, but that's what I have to use for Mac, so it is what it is. But I wish there was better ones out there for sure.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'm with you.
Cool. There is a lot of slow scan television out there still that people use today, which is kind of crazy, but they do. It's a lot of fun, actually.
We have a couple of friends in the club who are heavily invested in it, and they've gone and decided that I'm just gonna grip and rip it and learn how bad this interface is, and they've made some really good stuff, and they send stuff out all the time. I'm amazed that they stuck with it that long.
Right. So, one quick back thing. If they're doing the Flag and Torch Society, it will be like if you hear them out there, it will be like W0MAT/0, W0MAT/4, WZMAT/9, whatever. They'll be using the different calls. That's how they're going to do it for designate each zone or each rack session, not rack session, each.
The FCC call areas.
Yeah, the call areas. So that's how they're going to designate each call area.
Are they using the Flag and Torch Vanity call sign or no? Do they have one?
The K2 FTS.
Yes, K2 FTS.
Yep.
Oh, okay.
I just couldn't remember what it was right off the top of my head.
Oh, dude. So you guys have an all-star node, Paul?
Yes, we do.
Okay. That's the one I keep constantly hearing on, the sarcastic, or what I call the sarcastic node, because they have these voice recording options.
Yes, Steven did that. It's interlinked with us or HR2O.
HR2O, yeah. Okay.
But so for somebody like me, right, where for the last 6 years, I've been a station captain for Winter Field Day for N1QC. Like now I'm in Florida. I'm too far away.
Yep.
But I've never had the opportunity to play Winter Field Day with Flag and Torch because I was at home with my local club. And so now that I'm down here, this is perfect. And I'm glad that I'm on the board for Flag and Torch. So I was able to be a part of the whole process of getting that approval. But now, my plan is to play Winter Field Day down here as, K2 FTS /1, because I'm a 1, even though I'm down here, it allows me to still be able to take part in a fun practice in emergency communications and all of the things that I love to do that make Winter Field Day, fun and special for me. And hopefully, it's the same for other people.
For sure.
Right.
Because at the end of the day, right, it's about taking your radio station and setting it up in a field, right? Whatever your field looks like, but you're out and you're practicing communication in adverse conditions. And how do you adjust to those adverse conditions? How do you adapt to those adverse conditions? And how are you adapt your plan to become successful? And I think that's a big win for Winter Field Day that Summer Field Day is missing, because let's be real, right? Summer Field Day is more of a contest than anything else.
It is.
It doesn't matter that you could be on commercial power and be in a field and it's still acceptable. And that's not really emergency communications. You know what I mean?
Yep.
Yeah,
it's massive in emergency communication.
We kind of believe and think that we are probably kind of the most unique organization out there in terms of really probably pushing MCOM more than anything else does throughout amateur radio. So,
which is it's funny because
I can't think of any other event that does.
It's funny, how you say that, because I would have thought half of our Aries guys and all that would all be all over Winter Field Day, but we can't even get them to come out. We've had maybe one Aries head coordinator of two of the split Aries groups in southern New Hampshire come out to say hello and hang out for a little bit, but he never really it never really fully activated. But when it comes to Summer Field Day, hell, they're there in full force and they're bringing everything, in the kitchen sink, and it's I just didn't get it. It made no sense. But
like I said, we're 19 years into this, and it thinks everybody would know of Winter Field Day at this point, but there's a lot of people who aren't familiar with it. They don't know what's going on. They don't know what we do, and that's why we continue to come on to streams like this and many others to help push, educate, and let people know what Winter Field Day is, because it's just there's so much growth opportunity that we have. I truly anticipate and expect us to surpass Summer Field Day at some point.
Yeah.
And the only organized event I think throughout the year that I'll give credit where credit's due. I think it does top Winter Field Day in terms of being an emergency communications sort of event is the set, this simulated emergency test, right?
There is
and that is a ARRL sponsored Aries driven event. But to kind of echo Eric's point, and this is one data point from when I lived in Alabama, is we had a bunch of guys who when I was the vice president of that club in Alabama, we were like, okay, we're gonna do a set. We're gonna pretend the internet's down, cell signals are down. What do we do, especially in an area where even public service, so all their trunked public service radios were internet connected, because putting up radio towers in the foothills of the Appalachian Mountains was not going to work. So now we have public service radios down, so on and so forth. And some of our members were like, I'm going to go get breakfast instead.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, that's
yeah, and that's trust me, don't get me going. Don't even ask Todd about our regular scheduled Aries nets and whatever. Yeah, that don't even say it. We all heard it. We can go back to instant replay on that one. My funny thing is, like, POTA, I think, is way closer to actual practicing emergency comms than any of the Aries stuff that I've seen so far.
Oh yeah, and to answer into MAK's question in the chat, contacts be scheduled in advance. Yeah, absolutely. So here's the thing. I will always give people the answers to the test. So, and I'll tell you the good and the bad about it. So you can schedule contacts in advance. You can schedule contacts, like, for instance, if you're at a POTA site, and you can schedule your POTA activation ahead of time, and so you could potentially schedule your POTA activation days before Winter Field Day starts. And then if you're on a digital mode that gets picked up by the PSK reporter, the reverse beacon network, or CW, you'll get automatically spotted, and you are technically correct is the best kind of correct, right? So you are not breaking any of our rules because you're getting automatically spotted. Now the bad thing about this, and I've experienced this personally, is those POTA hunters do not listen to CQ WFD.
Yeah, they just jump
and
right on.
they are not prepared to give a Winter Field Day exchange. And I felt kind of bad at first about just like busting QSOs left and right with people, because I'm like, I'm not calling CQ POTA. I'm spying myself on the POTA network, sure, but I'm calling CQ WFD. And if you're not ready to give that exchange, and so I'll say there's a price that comes with that as far as that goes. And I know that wasn't Mike's question, but I wanted to throw that out there, that be careful how you publicize yourself technically within the rules, because you'll get the wrong people. And honestly, I called CQ Winter Field Day on 160 meters CW, because of the 160 meter CW contest happens during Winter Field Day. And same thing, I didn't spot myself either. I just called CQ WFD. A bunch of the people that came back to me were not given the Winter Field Day exchange. Mm-hmm. And so people, to everyone who's it's probably the same thing with the RIDI contest too, but be prepared for people, if you try to cross into a different space, be prepared for people to not give the exchange and you don't have credit for Winter Field Day. But you can absolutely arrange contacts ahead of time if you want to.
Cool.
And we'll probably, speaking of kind of arranging information ahead of time, we will probably put out, Micah, what did we do last year? Probably about 2 weeks beforehand, our schedule for our broadcast message. We'll probably go out about 2 weeks beforehand. So be paying attention to our website, our Discord, our Facebook. That will go out on all the different platforms for exactly when that broadcast message will be aired throughout the different stations in here in Europe. So
yeah, our bulletin's going out. So phone, CW, PSK31, they're going to go out at staggered times. They're going to go out twice. So you'll have a chance. They'll probably be about 12 hours apart. And so everyone should have ample opportunity. And something in our FAQs is, well, if we don't hear it, can it be relayed? And yes, if you hear the bulletin and copy it, you can relay it, as long as you're relaying it
fully percent.
Amateur RF, all the same rules apply, right? You're on one of the bands we allow, but absolutely that just makes perfect sense in terms of what we're trying to do.
Cool. Well, any other things we want to cover, or anything you want to kind of make sure that people are aware of? Obviously, as we're prepared, I mean, we're way ahead of the curve here, which we obviously haven't gotten into Christmas, but once Christmas gets by, that's where everybody's attention is going to start to go to. So, what anything else we want to make sure that folks are aware of, at least for changes this year, or add-ons?
Nothing I can really think of offhand. Some of our Winter Field Day makes great Christmas gifts. So
there you go. Can't beat that.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I got a question.
Yeah.
How does the Winter Field Day board, I will say, right? How do you guys feel about ALE contacts? Like, can we work some ALE into the mix?
So is any mode that is, I'm going to give the broad politically correct answer because and it's not for CYA. It's that I don't know enough about ALE because I'm not an Army communicator. I do everything in the Army but communicate. But but if it's allowed by Part 97, it's allowed by Winter Field Day with the exception of the WSJT modes.
Okay. That seems
I
simple
think,
enough.
Yeah, I think ALE would be fantastic. Like, especially because a lot of us, at least on the flag and torch side of things, right? We're really trying to familiarize ourselves with ALE. For those that don't know, ALE is on the extra exam. Stands for Automatic Link Establishment.
I knew it was coming.
But it's a fantastic way to quickly scan through numerous bands to try and make that contact with the person on the other end. And so I don't know. To me, like that seems like one of those key kind of MCOM kind of things where if we can make that work, where we can start scanning the bands and we can rapidly switch between making contacts with different people all across the globe. That's just making it better for everybody.
I guess as long as you stay out of the work bands, you're fine.
Well, and
with ALE,
that's the
we'd be
thing
jumping
too,
all
is-
over.
It's funny, you kind of said what ALE was, which I knew what it was, but it's like I knew what it was, but I knew it's like linking establishment, but I really didn't know what it was, and so I'm sitting there kind of reading through it real quick, kind of a brief summary of it. And it's like, that may be something we get user feedback. We have people ask us questions like this. Is this something we can use? Is this possible to throw this in the Winter Field Day? And it's very popular.
What about free DV? I mean, that's becoming more popular now.
So we had a question about free DV just yesterday in Discord again. All the best things in Winter Field Day.
I haven't seen that one yet.
But and I've used free DV before. I was not impressed with it. I'm gonna give probably the inaccurately broad kind of description of it. It's a digital voice mode that's it basically takes single sideband voice and compresses it digitally into 1 kilohertz.
Mm-hmm.
So you have the advantage of it as a narrower transmission, but in my experience in the past, that was the only advantage. So now you have the disadvantage of computer on each side. You have DMR quality audio at best, and all you get is a narrower transmission. And someone came into the Discord and said, "Hey, there's actually been a new codec released.
Yeah, right.
That boosts the performance."
Oh, dude, night and day.
Considerably, yeah. And so that got me more interested in free DV again. But the underlying answer is kind of the same answer I gave Paul, and it's anything you can do. You can do DMR contacts simplex, and those count. They're phone contacts. Free DV phone contacts, even though it's a digital mode.
Let me ask a question, because I was thinking this with All-Star. Like All-Star, most of the initial endpoints is RF. I mean, we're converting over to digital. Those qualify per se. So
those do not, because you are not doing RF. You're not doing direct link RF to RF. So every contact has to start it has to be, and this goes back to the no repeater contacts
Well, wait,
rule.
you said it has to start, so it's starting RF.
Right. Right, absolutely. It has to start, middle, and end, so it can only be point to point. There can be no relaying in the middle, and this is why for our WinLink objective, for the objective, you can send over a gateway, and you can actually send and receive from a commercial contact for commercial email, but that does not count as a QSO.
Right.
The only way you could do Winterfield Day as a QSO is peer-to-peer.
Mm-hmm.
And we have a blurb there because it was great. I'll give credit to Gray Man Poda because he asked this question a couple of different times, and I created a kind of a paragraph statement. So every mode, whether it's packet, Meshtastic, APRS, anything like that's normally done over a mesh or a relay, is perfectly fine in Winter Field Day as long as it is point to point. But that requires some reconfiguration, right? Try to stay off of an iGate with APRS without reconfiguring your hops.
Good luck with
that. That is the challenge.
And so for Meshtastic, it would go the same way, right? You would have to limit it to one hop, right? Where it's just point to point, and that's it.
Exactly,
and it couldn't be long fast, pretty much, because at that point you're basically broadcasting over mesh. So
yeah, and those are the things that
be channeled.
And those are the things and I'm happy to appeal to any of the more technical people on that. I love deep diving that stuff and giving people options. But if you hop onto a node you bought on Amazon and you don't know what you're doing, you're going to make a bunch of contacts that absolutely don't count towards anything. Yeah.
Yep. Todd, you got anything you want to throw in?
No, it's all interesting. I'm looking forward to it. So I'm gonna have to go snag Paul's igloos.
Yeah, you guys
not going to be up here.
If you could develop a pill that allows people to, step up and volunteer for actually like coordinating, Winterfield Day and Field Day efforts, I'd be happy to I'll test it on a bunch of people, because that's always the toughest part, is finding people that want to step up to do it. But everybody's like, yeah, Winterfield Day, let's get into it. It's like, okay, it requires a little bit of effort.
Yeah.
One of the things we'd like to find, and we haven't really, the idea's been tossed around a couple times, a couple different years, and that's finding 6 different stations throughout the U.S. that people can, have like a vanity call for like W1W or something like that, and then W1I, and we spell out winter, and you have all 6 stations you have to try and contact throughout the U.S., kind of like a 13 colonies or Route 66 or something like that. So we've thought about those sort of things, but we have to find 6 clubs that would be willing to fully designate time and people to be able to do that. And so that's the challenge in itself. It's enough to get the Winter Field Day bulletin out and find people to be able to do that and have the ability to do it.
We did the 24-hour POTA. We could do a 30-hour Winter Field Day. Why not?
Yeah, there you go. You look like Todd's volunteering the group right there. So, be prepared. So,
yeah, and as a teaser, the Winter Field Day Association doesn't have an amateur call sign yet, and right now the FCC is not processing vanity call signs, even the ones that should have come out in October. I know personally because I'm waiting on 2 of them right now. But we're going to submit for a club call sign for the Winterfield Day Association, and we're going to get a vanity, hopefully in time for Winterfield Day. So there's a possibility it's not going to count anything special because we've already got the rules out, right? But there's a possibility.
W1FD. What are the chances that's available?
So none of the 2x1s or 1x2s are available. There's some good 1x3s.
We do WFD, W1 WFD.
So but we're looking forward to that. We're looking forward for the ability to have people actually contact the Winterfield Day Association. Again, no promises because FCC, right?
Yeah. Yes, exactly. Just put FCC at the end of every statement, and you'll get sympathy. Cool. All right. Well, I think at this point, overall, I'm super excited. It's always one of my favorite events, I think, and I'll be first in our club to say.
So just to be clear, so we're starting. It's 11 Eastern time till when does it end on Sunday?
9 or 5. I can't remember the time frame.
Well, it's
Pretty sure
30 hours, right?
Yeah, it's 450.
Oh, that's right. 30
459.
hours. Yeah, it's not 12. So,
yeah. So that's I like that. I like that. It's a little bit longer.
That's always
like
the
that?
toughest part.
What?
The longer. I mean, I like the longer hours too, because if you start a little late, you always do. You know, you always make it up on the other end. But yeah, here in New England, it's a tough fight because if the weather just decides to turn on you the next day, you're pretty much screwed trying to work through it.
Yep. No, that's where you need to tell people to do like I always did, right? And so like you go and you set up on Thursday or Friday, and you're already set up and you're established and you're good to go, right? Mm-hmm. Rather than going, 9, 10 o'clock in the morning, the day of, and starting to set up, and then it's like, oh shit, well it started fucking 2 hours ago and we're just now getting on the air. No, like be proactive, think about it ahead of time and plan where you're going to go and where you're going to set up. Have an alternate plan for if that location doesn't work out, and you go and you set up ahead of time.
And you're fucking in Florida, my friend. Thanks a lot. Just really making it harder now because you were my go-to guy every year, and now you're in Florida, and now we have to figure out how to replace a Paul up here. Good job.
Sorry, I'm too far away for N1QC.
I know. Damn it, get on a plane, fly up here for the weekend, and then go back to Florida, and we'll put you up in your tent that you already have up this way. So
have Ryan come down and pick me up, and I'll come back
on the Gulf Stream. Yeah.
Hey Ryan, we need a special emergency pickup in Florida. We can't tell you who.
If it was only that easy.
Yeah, if it was. Yeah, we don't make Gulfstream money yet with our club. When we do, we might fly you in as the
the live free and ham Gulfstream
alternative
jet
pitcher.
Flying hams around the world.
Ryan could be flying, and I'll be making QSOs the whole way.
All the way, yeah. Exactly. Ho ho ho. Cool. All right. Well,
he just texted me. He said he could fly you, but he couldn't land, so you'd have to just jump out.
Jump! Oh, that's easy for him.
I don't know, from a Gulfstream that might be a little difficult. He said he'd slow down as much as he can.
Very cool. All right. Well, how can folks reach out to you, Marvin and Mike, for any Winter Field Day questions or adding to? Obviously, you mentioned Discord and stuff like that. But what's the best ways for folks to be able to get in touch with you, or what would you want them to do if they had a club that was interested in Winter Field Day to get going?
So if they want to reach out to us, a couple different ways they can do it. One is they can just reach out to our webpage and go to our envelope icon, and they can email us direct, and that's helpdesk@winterfieldday.com, and that will go right to our help desk software that will help you get you into the queue, and we'll take a look at it and send you back. You can always look at any of us, go onto the board, go onto the Winter Field Day page, go to the resources, go to the board members. You can find each of us there. I think we're all good on QRZ. And then, you can email us technically still at wfda@winterfieldday.com too. So if you have that if you previously emailed us, you might find us there. But we kind of prefer the help desk at winterfieldday.com because that really does give us a good tracking method to be able to look at everything that comes through. And more people see that email than anything else. So you'll have eyes on it a lot sooner than others. Or you can always just reach out to me direct as well. Or again, Discord. We're all good on there. We monitor that quite frequently and often as well. So
cool. All right. I have to do this for Tortoise because Tortoise spent some time doing this on my behalf. So this is his official, submission for Winter Field Day. I think it's more grizzly bear kind of like. You should make it more white, but it's a good start. It's a little bit more, we'll say, manly. Yep. There's not a ski and a scarf on him. More of a bandana. No, I
like the
He's got the ICOM 705 backpack on him. He's cool.
Yeah. Well, you no longer have an ICOM sponsor, so ditch the backpack.
I know. Right? There you go.
And they still have the better menus though.
He just needs a better mode of transportation than skis.
Yeah, skis. Maybe a snowmobile or, you know.
Put him on a snowmobile.
You know,
That'd be kinda cool.
Sherpa, you know, any of those cool
Put him on a
vehicles.
We're gonna put him on a 97. We're gonna put him on a 1997 Ford Ranger.
Or winter fit, you know, Panzer winter fitted out. I don't know, you know. You can put him on what?
Snowshoes.
Oh, that's
snowshoes. Yes.
We could put him on a Hilux, and the Hilux still has a RPK in the back.
Yes.
There we go. Well, we'll brainstorm. We'll workshop that one for next year.
Absolutely.
I miss Hilux.
You pay me enough, we can use any logo you want.
Well, hey, you know, we can make that happen. Our Winterfield, you know, our Live Free and Ham community is really good about you know, helping support things. So if we want to move that needle forward,
there you go. You might be able to, you know, turn the arm a little bit and make it happen.
Yeah, very much so. So cool. All right, guys. Well, thank you again for coming on and sharing all of the awesome news about Winterfield Day. It was definitely a blast. And we are definitely looking forward to this year. And so we'll definitely report back. I mean, obviously we want to see, you know, how you guys made out with some of your rules next year. And so keep us in the loop. And if you haven't, like Marvin and Mike said, head over to the Discord, be part of that stuff. It's always a good way to be able to help support and move the community forward. And if you can, you know, definitely donate, definitely head over to their webpage. The button's up right at the top, very easy to do. Help support them and keep this, you know, program, you know, humming along, because it does take resources to get things going and keep them alive. So with that, let's kick into the end of here. So thank you guys for all hanging out with us tonight and all of our community. We truly appreciate everybody who's on the show, and we can't thank you guys enough. So if you always want to connect with us, you can head over to our Discord, join that link in the conversation in the description below, and subscribe to our YouTube channel, catch all that awesome content over there. And don't forget to make sure you hit that bell, because we will be doing our Shack Roast coming up in the end of almost middle of December. So it's coming up soon, pretty quick. And as always, you can leave us a message if you've got more questions about Winterfield Day or anything. You know, head on over, use our voicemail at 978-233-1142. And if you want to help support the show financially, well, first go over and support Winterfield Day first, and then come over and hang out with us. You can use our Patreon and buy us beer links there. And, you know, check out all of our Live Free and Ham shop. It's got awesome, cool merch in there. We've actually added some new stuff that you know, is a sidebar. If those that know Shannon, KC1OHT, she's got her t-shirt over there. She's got our official Poto Wagon that she's going to be launching, so that's coming soon. Yeah, we got a whole bunch of other cool things. So, and as always, thank you guys for listening. From all of us here at Live Free and Ham, 7-3.
77.